How are you this week, Leigh? You're across the globe.
Maxi, I could not be further away from you. I've missed you. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. It's been a couple of weeks. How's the UK been?
It's been amazing. So having a good time. Done a bit of, as you know, like had a bit of family stuff to sort out initially, and now I'm on the road. And look at me.
We've got a special guest, Mike
Look who
Burton.
I'm with. Ah, God.
Oh, I
Hi,
can't believe
Mike.
it.
It's
Can't believe it.
This is the first guest that we've had that we could see via video on YouTube. So it's what a guest
Wow.
to have for
Yeah.
for YouTube. Sorry, correction. We've done Rob, Polish Rob, but Mike
Yes.
Burton is a close second. He's the great man, and this is
And
the second
me out
time.
of the country.
Second
Yeah.
time we've spoken to Mike.
Yes. Repeat
Yes.
guest. Woo.
Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it when Leigh said, "Oh, I'm in the UK and I'm traveling to Cleethorpes and I'm going to come see you
Yeah.
on the seafront in the morning." I was like, "Really?" So this morning was absolutely amazing. I just, as you all know, I just jumped in the sea. I'd been to the gym, 4 a.m. Went to the gym, jumped in the sea, had my dry robe on, hair everywhere, and then who do I see walking down the seafront was Leigh.
There
Do you know,
you
it was
go.
amazing.
Well,
Morning,
I think we
morning.
had such a good chat last time. I think I said at the end of it, I'm coming to the UK next year and I'm going to come to Cleethorpes. And here I am.
Yes, you
A
are.
promise is a promise, right, Maxi?
It is.
So I'm going to give Mike an intro, being he's here just to remind people who didn't listen last time. So Mike Burton, here is the man himself. Is a father, community ambassador, was a special school director, but he is now a motivational speaker from Cleethorpes, which is where we are today. He's on a mission to make the world a more positive and kinder place to live, and he does this by sharing his story and daily positive messages to inspire those around him. Mike has used his life experiences to help shape his own future and those he interacts with, as he believes there's a champion inside all of us waiting to manifest itself into life. Mike shares his inspirational story of how he has overcome adversity, used the trauma and challenges of his past to make him stronger and the person he is today. Mike, we're not welcoming you today.
Wow.
We're together.
Oh my God.
Woo!
It's
Can you
strange.
believe it?
No, I'll be honest with you. It makes me quite emotional just listening to that.
I know.
Because, well, I am, and I'm sure many people are. You're so guilty in life of just, going through every day, and just listening to that was one thing that stuck out in there was former. Do you know when he said former director of schools? I was like, because the fact that I've retired just to
Yes.
follow and been lucky enough to now follow my dream of being
Yes.
trying to make a positive difference to the world every day. And one of those things is being like an inspirational speaker.
And the difference that you said last year is what you wanted to do. Now you
Yeah.
are doing it.
Yeah, I mean, we was chatting prior, just saying, I feel so privileged to be able to wake up every day and choose to follow my passion, because I talk a lot about goals and we need goals in life, but actually at this moment in time, I only have one at the top of my vision board, and every decision I make every day is, will it make a positive difference to the world? And that's how I'm just living my life every day, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
It's
So,
awesome.
so I was down at the waterfront this morning, and I met Big John,
Oh, the man behind the camera.
the man behind the camera.
Big
And
John.
I did say to him, Maxi, we know how important the person is behind the camera, don't we, Maxi?
Yes, we do.
I said,
We
John,
do.
you are the MVP, which you
MVP.
probably would. You made that a say most valuable
Yes.
player, like
Tell
best
me.
on ground. That's a football
I've got
analogy.
a problem.
Yeah.
He's
What?
going on holiday next week. I've got to think about this. I don't know.
Get
what I'm
those
gonna do.
selfie sticks out, mate. That'll be right.
I could have slotted in a week in Cleethorpes. I
there
could have
you
been
are.
anyway. So no, it was just too good an opportunity to have a little catch up, because we were pre-planning and pre-guesting all our podcasts, but we wanted to do this one live, didn't we, Maxi?
Yes,
And,
we did, and you just mentioned, Leigh. I know a lot of people have been listening to the guests the last couple of weeks, and it's awesome to have Mike here, somewhat live. It's in a couple of days' time we release it. But great guest, and rolling on to the guests that we have had the last few weeks, it's so important to speak to you today, Mike, because what you do within the community, your local community, and the people of the UK and international people as well, your positive messages, mate. I love seeing your mornings, every day. And it always puts a smile on my face, mate. I know it's not morning for me; it's sometimes afternoon or evening, but it always helps me reflect. So the fact that people can see you on YouTube,
Yes.
you can see how passionate and how much you love to give back to the community. So thank you, and I look forward to having a good chat today.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Absolutely. So we've got something a little bit different today. We've got a few questions that we can take this any way we want it. We're just going to have a chat and get some of the thoughts behind some of these things. So something just a little bit more fun, a little bit different. But as always with us, there's always going to be a lesson in there somewhere. So so we've got some questions to ask each other. So how are we going to do this, Maxi? You want to ask Mike?
Yeah.
And then I can ask you?
Yep. Okay. Just stand by. I'll just get it up. I have it right here. So first question, Mike.
Yes.
Just get it here. If it were possible, what cartoon or other fictional character from your youth would you be today, and why?
Wow. Let's make sure I get this right. I don't know. I'm going to be torn between two people, really.
I struggled with this one as well, Mike. It's not an easy one.
For two different reasons, really.
Okay.
Because I really like the Turtles. And if anybody watched the Turtles, Michelangelo is the one who eat pizza, wasn't he?
Oh,
Was that right? He was the pizza man. So if that'd be my gut talking about it, because he's just smashing pizza all the time, and I love that. But if I'm being honest, if I could be anybody, I genuinely believe there's a champion inside of everybody, and I think one character that epitomizes that is Superman.
Yes.
And when you think about that, you look at him and he's the average person. Yes. But inside of that, behind the glasses, underneath, that suit, there's a champion that's there to champion everybody in the world and their community. So I can't believe this, I get goose pimples all the time. I'm such an emotional person. It's like just thinking of that and I just think what that epitomizes of, somebody that people would look. There's always a story behind the eyes. You never know what somebody's capable of. Yep. And everybody would have written him off until then he comes and saves the world every single day. So that'd be me, Superman. And he can fly. I'd love to fly.
Yeah. What about you, Leigh?
Okay, Maxi, what about you?
For me, because I had a thought. I was gonna not necessarily say Superman, but thinking about looking back, if you'd go Superman, the way you explained, but I'm gonna go a little bit more. Definitely for a period of time, Fireman Sam. I used to love Fireman Sam. I used to love Fireman Sam, and I remember just is weird. As a kid, I used to just visualize me doing it one day, and Fireman Sam. And I think I watched a little bit of. I know it sounds again a bit cliche. A little bit of Baywatch, so David Hasselhoff and stuff like that. Like I used to really admire the rescue and the helping of the community and being in danger and coming out the other side.
Amazing.
Oh, sorry, Maxi. Will you be able to see this? No word of a lie, my friend, right? And I haven't planned this. Can you see that on the camera?
Yes.
I've got a Fireman Sam top on when I was 7 years old.
What are the chances?
That is brilliant.
That's one of my pictures from the inspirational talk. So
it's so weird because when you said Superman, I was thinking, I could say Superman like the way you explain. I'm like, no, I'm going to go Fireman Sam because Fireman Sam.
And I promise anybody watching this isn't scripted at all.
There you go. What are the chances?
Yeah.
And what about you, Leigh?
Well, this is the most difficult question for me, and I had to think back because, I had to go back a bit further than you, Maxi, and you, Mike, if I'm honest. And the only one I could come up with that I used to watch and love was Batman, and I thought that's wrong because he saved from all the baddies, didn't he? Yeah. And he just kept Gotham City safe, and I loved the TV show when it was Adam West came. I'm going back a long
Yeah.
time. Can you remember? Probably not. He
Yeah.
won't remember for sure. All right.
At least I'm not on my own.
Time out, boys. Time out. Time out. Enough.
Okay.
We'll move on. All right.
Good answers.
And maybe in the early 70s there weren't enough girl superheroes. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, She-Ra. One of that. She was.
Yeah, there was there wasn't.
Wonder Woman.
Wasn't, yeah,
Wonder Woman.
but like
It could be Wonder Woman.
there wasn't enough. Well, it has been said, behave you two. It has been said. No, Maxwell, I'm coming back there. You just behave, right?
Maxwell's smart. 99.
Maxwell's
Agent
smart.
99.
So, all right, I'm going to go next one. I'll
Yep.
answer the next question. I'll answer this to you first, Maxi.
Yep.
If you were a tour guide in the town of your birth, what would you advise tourists to go and see, and why?
So, would it like this? Is that for Sydney?
Yeah,
and then
come on,
around,
Sydney
or
boy.
is it
Yeah, I'll
more
let you have
Cogra?
Sydney.
Cogra, where
No, I'll let
the
you have
actual-
Sydney. I'll let
Okay.
you have Sydney.
I think if I was a tour guide, you'd have to show the beaches. And again, I'm not saying that because I lifeguard around the beaches, but it doesn't have to go really around Bondi. We can go over the north side up towards Manly and do the walk over that way. But if I was a tour guide, I'd probably take someone to the beaches and do the coastal walk, and do it at a time either in summer when it was early in the morning, see a beautiful sunrise, and or during winter on a nice winter's day where it's blue skies and you got the whales going past the cliffs. That'll be pretty cool.
Good call, Maxi. Good call.
Wow. What about you then, Leigh?
Oh, well, me.
What about
Okay,
you?
so Nottingham, or we'll call it Long Eaton, suburb of Nottingham, which we discovered this morning. Mike used to play rugby in Long
Yes.
Eaton.
Yeah.
So
Small world.
small world. So for me, it would be lace manufacturing. So Long Eaton was actually the suburb where Nottingham lace started.
Wow.
And I think it was in the 30s, 65% of all the world's lace manufacturing was in Long Eaton.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I love the Industrial Revolution and that kind of social, so it would be taking them to the mills where the lace was made.
Yeah, I think on that note, especially this generation that we're moving into, people will just forget. History is like dying, isn't it?
Yeah.
History is dying across the world. There's people, like if you was to speak to people about, I don't know, the pyramids, anything like that, even now, it's less and less important. And I think people are forgetting, what this world was built on, never mind your country.
Yeah,
I love my history. So hopefully, if I live to the ripe age of 80 or 90, I'll still be loving the history. But yeah, you're right. It is somewhat dying. But hopefully, people can kind of realize how important it is. To keep knowing. And you know what? You don't want history to keep repeating itself. For the bad and for the evil. If people forget history and don't learn from history, then things do repeat themselves, and we have seen it time and time again. So
the lessons are the same no matter what generation. It just looks a bit different.
Yes,
absolutely. And you're right. And there's places where, like as we've started traveling around and things, you love the history in the UK, and when you're in the UK, you can sometimes take that for granted. And you come from somewhere like Australia, and it blows your mind. And just what I was saying about the lacing, we found this photograph in Andrew's mum's house. We had no idea who this gentleman was, and we found out that it was Andrew's great granddad, John Rice, who was a lace maker.
Wow.
So there you go. So that's what I would show people. So, Mr. Cleethorpes.
Well, it's my seafront doesn't sound anything like Wales flying, coming past, and sunsets and sunrises, but it's one of the things that I think initially when we connected, Max, because I used to see your early morning, sunrise photos, and I was, and I used to jump in the sea and those things that you have. But I am gonna say, if people was to visit my hometown, which is Cleethorpes, for two things really. One, it was voted one of the top 10 places to have fish and chips in the whole world. So
that's
I know you guys you tried it last night, didn't you? You tried it. So Steele's
Steele's.
fish and chips. It is.
We were there last night. Oh, Maxi.
Gold.
Yeah, fresh
Sweet.
fish, lovely fluffy chips, cup
Bread
of
and
tea.
butter
Peas.
with your fish and
Peas.
chips.
Smashed peas.
Mushy peas.
Mushy
peas, bread and butter, and a pot of tea.
Oh,
About 4 cups of tea. It was proper fish and chips, Maxi.
Yeah.
White bread, loads of butter.
Yes.
and that's what I'd say. You have to try that. But and I'm a nightmare for this, but I want to put a lesson into it that when I was looking at improving my mental health and changing my life, I started walking up and down the seafront every single day. But it took me 4 years before I actually stopped one day to realize what was actually there.
Mhm.
I was walking up and down that, but I wasn't appreciating it.
Yeah.
So what I'd really like to put the message across is that I would have told people, "Oh, you've got to go see Cleethorpes seafront," but I never really knew or appreciated it. So if anybody's listening to this and going, actually, take a moment to think where you live and sit and appreciate it. So I used to walk up and down there. So find somewhere that's great for you where you live, appreciate it. And I go and now sit. I never used to sit, so I just sit on the wall now and watch. I watch the sand move. I watch the sea coming in, or if the sea's out. I look at the cloud formation, and there's just nothing around. And I think sometimes we live in such a chaotic life.
Yeah.
Find a place where you live that you really appreciate. Take a
peace.
moment and just give yourself a bit of mental reset. So yeah, I'd visit that. And if you want to top it off, sit on the wall with some fish and chips and peas.
Absolutely. And you know what? The other thing, trees.
Yeah.
English trees. That's
My little
the
boy
thing that I've
Charlie.
come back. I love.
Oh.
Go and hug a tree. Honestly, I
Good
love a
trick.
tree.
And there's another trick too. If you grab the leaves and you can look at the leaf and you can like feel the texture and you can see the veins in it and like the apparently that's very very therapeutic as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know anything what people I was giving a talk yesterday, and when I talk about health and well-being, people talk about meditation. And meditation doesn't need to be sat in silence. It can be any type of activity that's focusing your mind, that's giving you that, bit of stillness.
Yep.
So when you're looking at that, Max, I totally get it. Because if you're looking and you're touching that leaf, you're not thinking of your anxiety, your depression, or anything, because you're focused. So that's the reason why it works. Anything that does that takes you and takes you into the present. It just takes all of that external
100%. It's such
noise
a good.
away.
It's such a good thing. I remember another great guest we had, Rob Mason, talks about that, about the mindset and, especially for runners. And there's times where people that are running, that are hurting, they're hitting the wall, grab a leaf or they are taking the trees and they really just take their mind off the hurt locker. So it works for running or exercise and for your mental health. So, yeah. Next question.
Next question. Do you want to ask this one, Mike?
Yes, I will. And I'm going to go first to you, Leigh. What's the best Christmas present you've ever had?
Okay, so you asked me this morning one of the things that makes me happy.
Yes.
And I said people. So one day out of the blue, 2 days after Christmas, knock on the door in Australia, middle of the night, and it was my friend from England.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, so for me, that was it. It's not big, flashy, it's because everything else, it's all just stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that friend that flew across the world to come and see me, I'll never forget it. Never, ever forget it. So it was Richard. It was Richard.
Yeah, I know Rich. Yeah, legend.
So
I hope he's doing okay.
He
had a little scare a couple of weeks ago, and hopefully
he
he's
absolutely
doing well
did, and that's why I
recovering.
ended up in. That's why I ended up in Dorset, and he's doing good. So, so Richard turning up on the front door, that was the best thing. Don't think anything will ever top it.
Oh, now then, Maxi, let's try and top that. What's yours, my friend?
Okay, yeah. Well, I think I can maybe top that.
We're turning Christmas presents into a competition. Look, right? Who's got the best present?
I think we are. So one year, and I remember it. One year, we just moved into a new unit in Bellevue Hill, and Talia got me some cooking stuff, and because we're trying to cook in the new kitchen and stuff, and I still to this day remember, and I still use egg rings. Egg rings. I got egg rings one year for Christmas. I still
Brilliant.
remember it. I know it's real random. I still remember it, and I still use them today. And you probably weren't expecting me to say that, but yeah, egg rings to
Amazing.
kind of help keep your eggs in the round shape and put them on your muffin or your bit of toast.
So
They work perfect on your barbecue as well,
They
Maxi.
do. They do.
Can I ask a question? So do you know, obviously, I don't know if it's the same in Australia, but if you go to McDonald's, you know that it doesn't make the eggs like that, does it?
No, it's like the perfect. So you basically break your egg into like a round.
So
cookie.
it doesn't turn
It'd be like a round cookie cutter.
Yeah. So
Does it still keep the yolk? The yolk stays running.
Yeah. It kind of makes it a bit thicker. It's a bit thicker, and instead of it being like really thin whites, it's a bit thicker. The whites are like chunky. It's like a sausage or a bacon egg McMuffin from Macca's. But
but with a runny yolk.
Yeah. Excellent.
Brilliant.
Excellent. And that's great news for Talia as well, because she just needs to go down the kitchen shop for the rest of your life and just get you something else like that.
I've had some great gifts. I've had some great gifts over the years.
You don't need any expensive stuff. That's perfect.
But I just remember that.
I'm gonna ask permission to cheat slightly. Can I trade my Christmas present for the best birthday present?
Absolutely, because the rules are there are no rules.
Okay. Love that. So this is I got the best birthday present in the world 9 years ago, and it came because Marie was pregnant with Charlie, and it was near my birthday, and Charlie had turned in her stomach. So obviously we went in, and the problem was obviously he was going to be born around my birthday, and she had to then get told she had a C-section. So I panicked straight away, thinking, because at that point I realized what it was, where she gets cut open and the baby's taken out. It's not. So I really panicked. So we left the hospital at that time, and I was thinking, wow, this is going to be traumatic. So I was there supporting Marie, and then we got the date, and we had to go in for the C-section. And after 48 hours, I calmed down and I said to Marie, you do realise Charlie's going to be born on my birthday. So actually, me and my son
share the same birthday.
So they said, you're coming in, you're having your baby on March the 20th, C-section 11 o'clock. But because I was so worried about Marie, I didn't even realise. So 48 hours later, I said, Marie, you do realise? And then
birthdays are big in your house, then.
Oh, I haven't had a birthday for 9 years now. I've woken up in Thomas beds. I've woken up in everywhere. But so the best birthday present
was young Charlie,
and it is because, and I don't mind sharing it. My father left me when I was a child. My stepfather was an awful role model and caused a lot of pain in my life. So Charlie gave me the opportunity to be able to be the best dad I could be, but also to be a role model to him, to right every wrong. So that's why it was the best birthday present.
You'd be very proud of you, mate, of what you've achieved thus far and what you continue to achieve. And you do a lot for the people of the UK and the world. So you should be very proud. And I know Charlie is proud of you.
And you know what, as well, you read so much things about when things get generational. What's the word for it? There's a proper term for it. When things
hereditary, or
generational, and to be the one that says that's enough. The enough with me. It stops with me, and
you do it
going on a different path. That takes absolute as well, because sometimes it's really tough to stand up against your family. Because you're not supposed to do that, but sometimes you have to do it, our good Charlie got super dad. Absolutely. So, Maxi.
Yes.
What epitaph on your headstone would you like to have so people remember you as you would want to be remembered? There's going to be something funny here. I can wait for it.
So, a little bit morbid. There's a chance I might get cremated. So maybe as a firefighter. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I do get cremated, or the ashes of it, I would say the fire got him, or the fire caught up, or I don't know, something.
The fire got him.
The fire got him. you know, the
And can
fire
I
caught
come
up with
and
him. I don't know. It's just
Yes.
I'll come and put a note underneath that said it was the big one.
it was the big one. The big one. Yeah. Yeah.
I
That
will
was
go
just
see it, the big one.
we occasionally have a laugh. I always kind of think about that. You know, and my late pop legend, he died late last year, and he was always a joker. And I remember having a chat with him a couple of years ago about, because you know he knew he was getting old, and you know his passing might be soon, and sure enough, it's happened. But he used to always joke around about the epigraph. He used to
Epitaph.
say, yeah, used to
Yeah,
say
epitaph.
headstone. But yeah, I remember telling him one day about that and getting a laugh out of him. You know, the fire got me in the end, or something like that. But I think maybe something to do with like being serious. I reckon it'll be something to do with giving back. You know, I like to always be known for someone that, you know, did give back a lot to the community, not just as a firefighter and a lifeguard, but you know, with Live, Learn, Survive, and just being a good person for the community. So maybe something along the lines of, you know, put himself, you know, put others before himself, or something, or I don't know, something catchy along those lines. Maybe, I don't know.
First thing you said to me, Maxi, was I like helping people. So I reckon it would be he liked helping people.
He liked helping people. Yeah. So
That'll be
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Perfect. What about you, Mike?
Wow. Well, I always envisaged when you said this to me is so somebody would read it, and because I'd like to be something around giving positivity to the world and
Yeah.
leaving messages.
Yeah.
So rather than writing something about me, I think I'd like to leave a message on my stone. So if somebody read it, I could continue
yeah,
giving a
Yeah.
positive message every day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it'd go something along the lines of morning, morning, written at the top, you know. So,
Yeah. Morning, morning.
so it'd
Morning,
be,
morning.
so, yeah, morning, morning. If you're reading this, please remember that tomorrow's not promised. Make sure you live every day as if it's your last.
Yeah.
And if you can only be one thing in this world, just be kind.
Yes. Exactly
Brilliant.
right. Kindness is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I reckon, Mike, yours could also say, morning, morning. You're reading this, so it's a great time to be alive.
Yes. Morning, morning. Hey, I suppose you could put that, couldn't you? Morning, morning. You're reading this.
It's a great time for you to be alive.
Yeah. What about you, Leigh?
Oh, excellent.
Come on in, Leigh. What's
look,
yours?
I just think something like loyal friend, tried to be kind, left nothing in the tank.
Can I just rephrase that?
Right.
I couldn't say. Can we take one word out of this?
What's that?
Which is the tried to be kind.
Oh, tried to be kind. Tried to be
Try
kind.
to be kind.
Loyal friend, kind, left nothing in the tank.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like it.
That's it. Leave nothing in the tank.
Pass me some bread and butter.
And I would like for my last meal, fish and chips, white bread. No, not the fish.
You're not
Chip
on death
butty,
row.
white bread, lots of butter.
Yeah. People. That's what people just walk to your grave and pour pots of tea on you.
Oh, they can come and leave me any bread and butter and a pot of tea anytime they
Well,
like.
you're gonna be having a curry tonight.
Curry tonight,
Curry
honestly.
tonight.
Seriously, Maxi, I am eating my way around
But
Britain.
you know what?
It's not easy. It's not easy. All right.
It's good cuisine, and you need to enjoy every moment, because again,
Exactly.
you don't know what tomorrow brings, and you're over there and you're having a great time, and I look forward to hearing how your adventure goes moving forward north after today, because I know you got some good exciting stuff.
Still leaving nothing in the tank, Maxi. It's just like being on tour, honestly. Right, okay.
So shall I ask the final one?
Go, Mike.
Yes.
Shall I go?
Yeah.
So I think if anybody has watched, which hopefully they have, and they've got this far, I think this will be the one which will be really important, for them to know, because it's going to be a personal question for all three of us. Is what's been one defining moment for you, Leigh, in your life, and what would it be? How's it made you are today?
I think for me, one of them was leaving school and not. I won't say I wasn't written off, but didn't do very well at exams, and I talked about this in my speech. My name didn't make the leaderboard, like the top of the thing, because I was going to work in a factory. I wasn't going to uni, or I wasn't going to college, and it was just almost, I think it's really important. I knew that I was smart, I just couldn't pass exams, and I was not going to let my school end of year results define who I was, because I just knew it was not me.
Yeah.
And I was determined to, like, not do it to show people, because it didn't, to me it didn't, I was never going to see anyone from teachers or things like that, but it was like for myself. You know what I mean? It's like, when you fail exams you feel rubbish. When you see that your name's not on the top of the board, you think, why is my name not there?
Yeah.
Why am I not good enough to be up there? And it's like, and I almost must have had some determination or something that, you know what, I'm a good person, I am good enough,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go, and I will keep going, and I'm still keeping
And do you
going.
know the one thing I hate about that
What?
is you're made to feel bad because you're living by somebody else's benchmark.
Absolutely.
You didn't
Yeah.
choose that benchmark. That's not your
Absolutely.
choice. You've been benchmarked because of
But
the
Yes.
system.
yeah,
Yes.
and adding on to that, and going a bit, depending on what you believe in spiritual or what, but maybe these little tests of things to help you become the person you are, because having these little things in there, get to that fire in the belly to be able to be better, to do good. If everything was handed to you, or if you're the top of everything,
Yeah.
and we always say this thing, like, what sort of story would you have if you had everything?
Yes.
Life would be boring. Like, people want to see the
Yes.
ups and the downs. Not saying at the time it was good.
Yeah.
It would have been terrible, but looking back now, you probably realize that defining moment has made me who I am today. And look how good
Absolutely.
I've done, and look how much kind I've given back to the community.
And that's why being a mentor to younger people and seeing younger teenagers that are probably in exactly the shoes I was there then, I see that, and that's why I always try and make a point to, just the tiniest word of encouragement. It
No.
might be that one sentence that they may hang on to for the rest of their life, because we will have always we will have crossed paths, and everyone leaves an impression on you of some point.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so big on energy, because I think people remember that everything speaks, everything about you speaks, and it might be that one sentence or interaction that might change that young person's course of direction, and that's what I'm so passionate
And
about.
you know, when you're talking about kindness and energy,
Yeah.
there is something that defines it that I share with people. What you've done there is you're not worried about what you're saying. And in life, this is what I always, one of my really big taglines that I really try and hammer home. Nobody will ever remember the words you say. They'll
Yeah.
only ever remember the way you make them feel.
Absolutely.
And that's the difference. So doing it with love, care, and energy,
Yes.
you connect with people on an emotional level, and they remember
Yeah,
that. The
absolutely.
same way as you remember not being at the top of that leaderboard for a
Yeah.
negative reason, because
Yeah.
it was emotional still.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
think,
It wasn't even a leaderboard. It was just where everyone was
Yeah.
going. It was not even like, it was a terrible, terrible thing that probably someone who did that never even gave a thought about it.
Still do it now, don't worry about it.
But yeah, exactly.
Still do it now in schools, it's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, that's me.
Go on then,
Honestly.
Maxi.
Right,
I
go
was just gonna say quickly, adding on to what Mike said at the start, it's okay to have bad days, and people sometimes do have bad days. And if you do, or you are having a bad day, and you do come across a little bit off, or a bit grumpy, or a bit out there, and you are a little bit not kind to someone, if you within yourself realize you're not the true person you are, take a step back and re-inject yourself into that conversation to be better, to either apologize, to
Yes.
Yes.
kind of retract on what you
Absolutely.
said, and just kind of, because it's like that one moment where you do upset someone, it's I wouldn't say all the time that one shot, that's it. If you stuff it up, you're
Yes.
gone. It's just, if you
Yeah.
know that you're having a bad day or something's not right, you coming back into that conversation, apologizing, or just being better, that person will
Yeah.
see that you are the true value and the true colors of what you are, and you're genuine.
Yeah.
And it shows that you're human.
Absolutely. So true, Maxi. Okay, you go, boss.
So I think defining moment. I was just thinking about then. I reckon it would probably literally emailing Hoppo when I was 15 years old, when I was still at school. I didn't ring. I didn't go down there. I emailed, and he got back to me to say I can go down and do the work, the work experience there. And I think if I never did that, I probably still would have maybe done the fireys, or still done a bit of lifeguarding. But talking about how like things kind of happen, opportunity to stay on the beach, and then doing my traineeship, getting the fireys. Before that, meeting Leigh, doing stuff back in 2014. If I didn't become a lifeguard at Bondi, if I didn't do stuff with Bondi Rescue, if I didn't get asked to do the swimwear stuff with Leigh at the start, I wouldn't have. Like, what I'm saying is, it's just things happen, and I think
It's like a domino effect, isn't it?
pivotal moment would have been me as a 15-year-old kid in my room, emailing, going on the internet, finding Waverley Council lifeguard coordinators email, and emailing, asked if I could do work experience.
Yeah.
I don't think about it often, but I think that question makes me go, well, where did it all start? I was doing surf lifesaving and volunteering before that, but I think where it kind of kick-started the lifeguarding career, the
You
firefighter
took
dream,
control.
live, learn, survive, meeting Leigh, doing everything started from 15-year-old Trent sitting in his room and sending that email.
Yeah.
And now you're sending emails asking to change kids' lives in school. So you're still
Yeah,
sending emails, my friend.
Exactly.
Still sending emails.
Yeah, it's but yeah, I think you're constantly learning, you're constantly getting blown away. I had a meeting the other day we were talking about earlier. You have good meetings, you have not so good meetings, but I think when people understand what you're trying to do and you see how genuine and how passionate you are, passion is such a big word I like to use, is because
Can't
when
fake it. You
you
can't fake
it,
passion.
because it
Can't
just
fake
keeps
it.
coming, and sometimes you forget what you're saying because you're going, you're just rolling with it, and
Do you know why that is?
you can see the
Do you
person
know
that you're
why that
talking
is?
to. So
Yeah, do you know why you forget what you're saying? Because you've got two parts of your mind. So you've got your conscious mind and your subconscious. When you're talking without knowing what you're saying, it's coming from your subconscious because it's real. You don't need to think about it. It's natural. It's the conscious bit where you practiced it. It's not real. So when you're talking from the heart, it just goes, just
and you can
comes
see
out,
the
doesn't it? You're like, where's that get
person
from?
that's listening to you is just, you get their, it's like their eyes open up and they're just
Yes.
listening for
Yeah,
what
they look like they're like that. Whoa.
and they're like, whoa,
Yeah.
and then like they just know that they're just loving what they're hearing, and you're not doing it like just to get them that wow reaction, but it's like them really leaning in. And Steve Bartlett from Diver CEO, in his book and his podcast, me and Leigh listen to him a lot. A lot of people sometimes lean out, but when you lean in and you listen more, it unlocks so much more potential and opportunity for the person listening and for the person that's telling the story. And I'm a big believer in that. And I think, things are happening. Things are happening organically as well. We've done the hard yards, we've done the hard work, and it's
100%.
great.
And I think a lot of people can learn that lesson.
Mm.
And I think it's strange because obviously then flipping that question to myself, I've had so many life defining moments, that I could talk around, and I think it could be like I could turn around and say, oh, retiring at 39, that's a life defining moment. I could look at opening my first school, starting my own charity. And I was just going through this, I could talk about that Pride of Britain, being a Commonwealth baton bearer. I could look at these things, but if I'm saying the biggest,
I
I
can
would,
totally know what you're saying, mate.
yeah,
It's
it's what really means something to you. And I think for anybody watching, is why I want to share this, is a life-defining moment for me was, there was two. One when my biological father left me when I was a child, and the second one was when my stepfather came into my life and was so negative, and we suffered a lot of abuse.
Yeah.
And both of those people, I had to come to a point when I had to learn to say thank you. And the defining moment was when I could thank them for one, leaving me, and the second one, abusing me.
Mm.
And the reason being is because they showed me exactly everything that I didn't want to be.
Yep.
It showed me the dad I wanted to be, the person I wanted to be, and what I needed to do in life. So when I was 36 and I could ask myself ask myself a question, what do I want to be and what do I want to do? And that was the first time. Everything that's happened in my life, traumatic or amazing, has all been for the same reason. It took me to that point at 36 when I could sit there and thank everybody for the negativity in my life, because it showed me how to improve it, appreciate and be proud of the things that I've achieved. But for the first time, I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make a positive difference to the world, because I didn't feel like the world was making a positive difference to me all the time. So
Yeah.
those defining moments, learning to say thank you for the hard things in my life,
Yes.
because it taught me
Yeah.
every lesson.
100%. And and it's all sometimes it is perspective and looking at the other side of using a negative situation or something that's really bad within your life for a positive, and go, I don't want to be that person. I'm going to do everything in my power to never treat anyone unkind, or do abuse or anything like that. So
Yeah.
it's sad that both your circumstances and Leigh's circumstances are completely different, but it's sad that you're going through at the time. You feel like you're alone. You got nothing. You feel you're alone, and why me? And this is not fair. But in hindsight, looking back, it's the journey, and you look back and you go,
Yeah.
it's defined me to be the best version of myself. And you continue to learn as well. Every day is a school day, and
Yeah.
there's stuff that we talk about today that in 5 years' time would be, be something else that we're trying to aspire to and try and be better. So,
Yeah.
just each day, you just try and be better.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what, Maxi and I, you and I were both talking about something that happened to us at a similar age, 16, 17, 18, like different, things are like we're talking about, a long time ago, and it just shows how important those years are.
Yeah, yeah.
Those, it's, it's all, it's
You
all
don't
so
forget.
important.
You don't forget.
Absolutely.
That's why I think it's so important. And this isn't a sales pitch, for what you guys do. This is the truth. The lessons that you can teach people by getting into those schools and speaking to those young children is just huge, because it's bigger than saving someone's life. It's shaping the way they view the world and the way that they carry themselves. Because I just sit there and again, I got goose pimples just before I'm about to say it, because I'm so emotionally attached to it. Could you imagine what it would feel like as a child saving somebody's life?
It'd be pretty
Wow.
amazing. Yeah.
What
And it was a dream of mine when I was a kid, and to learn the skills to be able to do that, and kind of fast track and not have to wait till you're 18 or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or 60. You could do it as a child, and you don't have to wait to do that. We obviously want people to do courses and stuff like that. I'm not really phasing this right, but learning the skills to be able to save your own life and help others, you can learn right at this moment. You don't have to wait.
Yeah.
And it's something that I pride myself on. And if it's not first aid, it's water safety. If it's not water safety, it's fire safety. And if it's not fire safety, it's resilience. And then even better, it can be all four of those things. I know.
Maxi, I'm huge on mental health. And you just spoke about this. First aid, which is around accidents, first aid, traumatic. Yeah. Fire safety. Yeah. You're talking about water safety. Those three things, whether you're an adult or a child, cause stress and anxiety in environments. If you've got the skills and knowledge, you've just protected your mental health, because you can go enjoy the beach, you can enjoy making a fight, you can do all those things because you know how to protect yourself. So as a parent, you're not anxious about it. As a child, so you get to enjoy it more. So on a mental health perspective,
Yeah.
I think that's the bit you give yourself,
Yeah.
because you don't have to worry anymore.
And if there's some kind of trauma, which is going to happen because that's life, there's no, you know, then if you've got the skills to know how to deal with it, you're less going to have like
Impacted.
repercussions and impact. You can
Yeah.
bounce back, which is the resilience.
You can
bit.
rationalise it.
You can rationalize it. You can bounce back, and you can go, okay, that's what happened, that's what it was, and all the rest. And then you can, you know, go on for the next day, and hopefully, you know, the trauma's like sort of not as severe, and you can cope.
You can be
go on
ready
with the
for it.
next
You
day.
can normalize it to the point where no one wants to see traumatic incidents every day. But if you think about it in a positive, different perspective kind of way, and knowing that you can potentially make a difference, I think that helps you as well. Because you're thinking about in your mind, okay, if this happens, how am I going to react to this? How am I going to do this? What am I going to do for
It's
myself?
logical, isn't it?
The you principle, you've got to look after yourself, the others, and the unfortunate. How am I going to do this situation? Having situational awareness, and then being able to roll that out when it does happen, it becomes second nature. It's like learning how to kick a ball, or how to catch a ball, or how to surf a wave on a board. If you train the mind and you actually do the actions, it becomes second nature. And then naturally you are going to be more healthier mentally. You got to have better situational awareness. You got to be able to know what to do if you're stuck in a rip or a river. You also know what to do if there's a fire in your home, or if you come across someone with a traumatic injury. So it's something that we're very passionate about.
Amazing. That's
How
it.
good.
Question
That's
done.
the one. So it's the most important question now, Maxi. The last one of the day, the playlist.
The playlist. Mike, I asked you at the start of our podcast before we clicked record, and I asked you for a song, and you gave us a song called Proud by Heather Small.
Yes.
It is now added to the playlist, the Live, Learn, Survive
Fantastic.
playlist. New listeners, check out the Spotify playlist, Live, Learn, Survive, and you'll see all songs of guests, myself and Leigh, happy, positive, kind, give back, pump up songs. There's over 200 in there now, and they're from all over the world. So check it out. Thank you for the contribution, Mike. I look forward to having a listen on my next run.
It's a great song.
Yes.
Great
and
song.
It is. And you should be. It's all about being proud for yourself, and it come from that conversation. And for somebody who's working so hard and being successful, listening to you earlier on, Maxi, and the smile on your face when you was really proud of some of those achievements, that's where it came from.
Yeah, and it's a team effort. You know, earlier this year, Leigh was having a number of meetings in Queensland and around Brisbane. It's only
She
in the last
smashed the
couple
big
of months.
talk as well.
Yes, she did. It was a great event.
Yes.
It raised over
Go on.
$20,000.
Yes.
And we're finally just now going to term 3, term 4, being able to roll out in some of the schools of where that money was fundraised in Queensland. And now, you know, doing some stuff in Sydney, my local community, after what happened, a tragic incident happened a couple of months ago up on a junction. Just, you know, getting out there in the community, all across Australia, and then Leigh being there in the UK representing Live, Learn, Survive. Very proud of that. And
brilliant.
You know, we've got a big back end of the year, and like you do too, Mike, you've got a lot of stuff that you're working on and that you've been doing. And I look forward to seeing more about, you know, more online. Tell people where they can find you, Mike, if they were to be watching.
So please, if you want to, I don't sell anything apart from positivity. So all you need to do is, if you want to join my positive family, is search on Instagram, Mike Burton's Positive Messages, Facebook, same, Mike Burton's Positive Messages, TikTok, and if you're on LinkedIn, drop me a message, Mike Burton. But yeah, Mike Burton's Positive Messages, type it into any of the social platforms, and you'll see me with my half naked, jumping in the sea, talking about everything from Feel Good Friday to anxiety. But no, yeah. And the only thing I will say is, if you are watching this and you are listening, remember, you've woken up today when thousands of people haven't got the opportunity. So remember, smile, because it is a great day to be alive.
It is. Right.
Absolutely.
How
Well,
good.
don't you say, we say all the time, Maxi, kind of find your tribe, and
Yes.
the one social media gets such a bad rap. But using it for good, you find awesome people like this,
You do, and you're going
and
to
we
see
say it all the
other.
time,
You're going to be seeing
find your
others.
tribe.
We back in the day we did have Maxi's Rescue Squad, but now it's Skills for Life program where we have people from all
Yeah.
over the world in that program. And you're gonna, you see Mike now, but you're gonna drive 3 hours north up to South Shields.
am.
You're gonna see the South Shields Volunteer Lifesaving Club. You're gonna see, Emily, all
In
the
Aberdeen.
girls.
And then I'm going to meet little Nico in Inverness,
Wow.
who walked 42 miles for his mum and dad for our charity. He's 8 years old.
Go on.
Yeah.
So it's like the friendship tour. This is what Live Learn's about. We like find family and we keep them, don't we, Maxi? And we know and really, really hope that one day we'll be able to come back on tour and do more,
100%.
because we've got in our Skills for Life, our online, there's a lot of them are in the UK.
Amazing.
So no, Mike, you have been so generous with your time today. It's been a joy.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for the coffee at 6 o'clock this morning at the beach. Keep absolutely killing it, and we are absolutely in your corner from a further corner of the planet, and you're absolutely going to be a superstar. Well, we look forward to the Mike Burton tour. I'll come as a roadie.
That's it. We'll do it. You wait. Yeah. All we need to do is get someone to book me for a talk in Australia, and then I'm there.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. Well, and then we'll come back. We could all go on tour around Britain.
Let's do it.
That'd be cool.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Well. That'd be good. Let's get the wheels in motion. Well, Mike, absolute pleasure,
mate. We've got the new recruit is over in the corner watching us, Maxi.
Big love to Andrew.
He's just sorting a bit of admin for us while we're sitting there chatting on. So we'll make it happen.
Yeah, we will.
That's it.
All right. But yeah, Mike, enjoy the rest of your day. Leigh, safe drive up the coast to South Shields. It's been a pleasure, and I hope everyone enjoyed this somewhat live podcast in the mix of all our guests that we've had the last couple of weeks, and we continue to have in the next couple of weeks while you're still away.
Brilliant.
See you later, guys. Thank you.
We're on YouTube.